Lagrade ostklassiker från Arla. Smaker för stunder att minnas.
Hello there, ladies and gents. Well, shiny happy people, I am very glad to see you, and I hope that you have been able to join me. Well, this will be probably a little bit different format of the show, because I thought that the previous show it went, how should I put it? Oh, yes. So, the subject of the show, and like I said, love, sex, and health. That is the subject of this show. And now, the previous show, when I was talking about age of consent, I had a very mixed emotions about it, because on one hand, you had very, very many opinions. People had like really a lot of opinions, which of course transformed into likes. Like, I mean, it wasn't so much that it was like informed opinion or anything like that, but people, it was clear that people had a lot of feelings about this subject, about the age of consent, about teenage sex in Sweden. And as you probably remember, some people were clearly saying things like oh, since you're talking about that the age of consent is 15, your head will meet my fist and things like that. So basically, some people clearly went off the rails. Now, violence is not okay in any form, but towards my moderators, I also want to keep balance, okay? Let's keep it fair and balanced. So, my dear moderators that I have on this show, if people speak about violence, yes, that is the reason to take them off from the chat. The second reason to take them off from the chat is if they're threatening or degrading you in some way. But otherwise, I urge you, my dear moderators, not to ban anyone, because I want to give those people a chance to at least try to formulate something sensible. So what was my message on this show that became so controversial? The thing was that I read out about the fact that it's 15, that the age of consent in Scandinavia is 15. And some people clearly did not like it, and some people loved it. I did receive a lot of likes for my show, and I did receive a lot of dislikes. So it was clearly very, very engaging subject, and it was quite interesting for me to see. And also, it was quite surprising to see how many people were on chat, in and on and off and things like that, whilst at the same time they could not formulate one single sentence which would be coherent and which would be a counter argument towards how it is in Sweden. There were some people who were looking rather funny or silly, trying to impersonate that they're police or something like this. And of course, it's childish. It's really, really childish, because, like I said from the very beginning, what I was quoting is Swedish law. So, to those people who clearly feel that they have a lot of opinion on this matter and that it sort of engages them, like I said, there's this way that you voice your opinion in the comments in a normal, sort of sensible way. And I promise you, I will read out your comments as long as it's not consisting of like entirely of some sort of profanity. And then I will also try to see just, any kind of reasonable. So it has to be on topic and it has to be without swear words, more or less. That's I think that's a very very reasonable demands for a comment. And like I said, I'm urging my moderators to stand down today, so if anybody has something sensible to say, please welcome to the comments. Anyway, like I was saying, there is a difference. There is a difference about how courts judge, okay? So like I said on the show, 15 is the legal age limit, okay? So the age of consent is 15. And I tried to say it on the last show, but I don't think I articulated clearly that to have sex with somebody who is under 15 is illegal for both. For men who are over 15, it's illegal to have sex with somebody under 15. And it is also illegal to have sex with somebody under 15 if it's a woman who has a sex with a younger man. And there have been court cases which I was demonstrating to you yesterday, and I will demonstrate it quickly also today. Like I was saying, that there are court cases, and it has been very well described in many newspapers. And there you can see that Sweden 15, neighboring countries Norway 16, Finland 16, Denmark 15. I have checked out this fact, and it is 15. So the point is that it's illegal for both, but the sentence in the court is different. So in many cases, it has not been put a sentence on women. So if ladies have been over 15, ladies who are over 15 that are finding men who are younger than 15, and then there have been situations happening where they would have some sexual contact, the courts would not find that they are criminally liable. Okay, that has happened. If it's a guy, if you are a guy and you're over 15, you will be always found guilty. It's the simple truth. If you're a guy and you are over 15 and you are looking at somebody who is under 15, the simple thing is stay away. That's simple. It's not nothing harder than that. But for people who are 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, the teenage sex is legal. And that's a very simple fact. Yes, hello there, Noel, and it's nice to see you. Now, to return to this subject, I don't quite understand why it has to be so hard for some people to formulate your thoughts. I see what you say on the shows that run sort of parallel or somehow interfere. Um, they're more or less about the same time as this show. I know that you have been saying there things like Noel and Nate have not had enough air at birth. And I'm wondering, like, why? Why are you saying such things? Like, you found two guys with who you are clearly finding it funny or interesting to troll them, okay? Instead, I say, come over here and See if you have some kind of argument. You're just trolling the people who you clearly can get nervous. You don't seem to be able to say anything that has any substance at all, okay? You come over here, you have threatened me, and I just tell you, it's a law in Sweden. Then you go over to the guys and to whom you're trying to pose some sort of similar comments, and then you just start to troll them. Instead of trolling two guys who have some difficulty to respond to you in a manner that you deserve, you're finding people who are very, very nice. They're too nice for you, okay? You have found a couple of guys who are very, very nice people. They have never, ever, ever, ever done anything bad to you, okay? You come and you try to find connection to them. You try to lure yourself on their streams, and you try to hurt them. Why? Why? And instead, I'm over here, I'm live, and I'm telling you, if you have such a strong opinions about the age of consent, formulate your thoughts into a sentence and put it down here, okay? And I will read it out. And what is difficult for me to say, if you're such a good people, if you're so good-hearted, if you have your white horses, and you imagine for yourself that you're fighting for some good cause, then I have to ask you, why do you fight it in such a manner that you're hurting people who have absolutely nothing to do with this, who can't even reply to you in a way that you deserve? You're just trying to find somebody where you would put yourself superior. You're not talking about anything real. This is not about your concern over the age of consent. No, this is about you finding a couple of guys who had a bit of difficulty to formulate strict enough response to hold you accountable for your opinions. Now, to those people who have threatened me on this stream, which I showed you clearly yesterday, I want to ask them, people, how do you think? What is your manner of thinking? In this country, we have 10 million, okay? We have 10 million people, 10.4, let's say that. And out of them, about 10 million are contempt with this decision to have this age minimum, that it's 15 is the age of consent. So what? You are gonna go to 10 million people and you will try to threaten them like you threaten me? Or what is the thought behind trying to threaten one person who read the law to you, who said that yes, in Sweden the age of consent is 15, and then you find a person who reads the Swedish law to you and you try to threaten them? So there is another, let's say, 9,999,999 people who have the same opinion as me. In our country, we have 8 major political parties, 8, and only part of one of them is a little bit undecided on whether they think it's okay. Our Christian Democrats, which is a very small party in here, there is a small part of conservative Christian Democrats which have some doubts, which maybe they might want to go with 16. But for the rest, for about like 98 or 99% of the population, 15, yes, that is what the age is. Now, do you have any other avenue? Yeah, you can go another avenue. You can move over to Sweden, get a job, then move over here, get a Swedish citizenship, and then bring another 10 million people from America with you. And then you can try to vote in through the parliament the change of law. Do you comprehend what I'm saying? There's this thing called democracy, laws, and if you don't like how we live in Sweden, instead of threatening people in Sweden who are reading to you the Swedish law about the minimal age, about the age of consent, perhaps you should try to think what would be logical. You can argue, you can put your argument, for example, in things like chat. The other part would be is that you try to become part of the Swedish system, you become citizen and bring over people from America, or number three, that you start a political party inside of Sweden and start to, you know, tell to us somehow that yeah, sure, the minimum age is this and this is good and this is bad. Okay? So three ways. But you're not using any of them. You are either trying to pretend that you're some kind of criminal authorities, or that you are trying to straight out threaten me. And that is because I'm reading out the descriptions of what has been made in Sweden in Swedish cases. And I wonder, so you don't like Sweden because we have our own view, our own vision, and we say that this age is 15. Okay, so what about Denmark? What about Denmark? Let me put it on the map for you. Let's see Denmark again. Yeah, okay. So here we go, and let's see. There we go. The neighbor country to us. 15, Denmark. What? You're gonna go over there too? You're gonna start to threaten people in there? Yes? No? So, okay. 15, how about 16? Is 16 okay for you? Because if 16 is not okay for you, then you have most of Europe who are thinking that 16 is a fine age. How are you going to argue with them? Also, have you ever thought of how you represent America by doing things like that? Because I know that, you know, most of American are normal people, but some people are like that who go around and threaten other people. And then it creates this sort of image that Americans are somehow violent people and that Americans are people who go around and threaten other people or other countries. Do you think it's a good thing? I don't think so. I think most of Americans are normal, reasonable people, but there's this completely violent minority, like a really tiny minuscule, but which goes around and just threatens people in the world. And that starts to put off people, everywhere, because people start to presume, they start to have the stereotypes that Americans are somehow, either violent or threatening or things like that. Just think for a second that you, as a person on internet, there are other people, it might be hundreds or maybe even thousands of people, who are looking at you and thinking, if he is like this, then the other people from that country also might be like this. It's just as simple as that. And try to deny this stereotype that some people have, that Americans are violent and threatening, because it's not a good image for a country to have, that other people presume that people who come from USA are violent or threatening. I don't think it's true. I think it's a stereotype. It's a wrong stereotype. I think Americans are quite okay. I've met many Americans who I think are very nice people, but by presenting yourself and America like that, you're not doing anyone a favor. Okay, now last part. I really don't understand what is like your end game. What is your goal? Because you are clearly not being, I don't know what it is. You don't have the guts, you don't have the courage, you don't have, I don't know what it is, but you're clearly having a lot of those opinions, but you can't step up to the plate, write down your opinions, and I'll put you on the show. I'll show you live. Okay, so that was my segment today on this sort of Swedish ideal, which clearly have stirred quite a lot of emotions. And I hope that I put some of your misunderstandings and misconceptions, that I put them straight, that the situation is much more clear now for all of you. And tomorrow I will go on as well, and I'll try to touch another touchy subject for many people, namely that a lot of people in Scandinavia are teenage and they're gay, and yes, they're having sex. Ooh. Okay, see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 23 o'clock if you live in Europe, or 5 o'clock Eastern time if you live on the East Coast, or if you live somewhere else, you probably will be able to calculate your time anyway. Okay, thank you guys. Bye. It was very nice